Hi, I'm Em!
And I'm Liv, and we're your Meta PsycKicks.
Okay, Liv, what does my aura look like?
It's, well, Em usually has purple and then yellow, but on her arms I can see that she's green and yellow.
Just on my arms?
I don't know how it works. I'm just telling you.
I know, but do I have different colors somewhere else?
Yes.
Where?
From the knees down, you're like grayish, and then the soles of your feet are red.
Interesting.
Which would make a lot of sense because you're usually pretty grounded.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about auras!
Because everybody wants to know about auras, what the colors mean, how it works, how you squint real hard to see them, and all this other jazz.
Malarkey?
Jazz! I was trying not to use malarkey.
You use malarkey a lot, it's a thing.
It's
your catchphrase, my dude.
My 1920s.
But anyways, this gets Liv going.
It does. I just think it's so silly.
Are you ready for this 20-minute long rant about a psychic medium telling you about what other people think about auras?
Your aura is your life's frequency, or
your
whatever.
Electromagnetic field.
Yes, it is the E.M.F around you, because everything that is alive has a frequency that it emits, because everything in our world is made up of particles, and particles exist on certain frequencies, so solid, liquid, gas, plasma, whatever.
But didn't you do research and someone was telling you it was only living things?
Yes.
It's why magnets work.
Yeah.
It's literally why we have a moon, because the gravitational pull of the earth.
So I don't understand why people would think that only living things can have auras, where if you look at it and take the scientific aspect they're trying to put into it, everything would have auras.
But also people think that auras are religious, because we had a TikTok go viral about our auras, and we had people, religious people on there going on repent, this is Satanism. And it's like, how is this even remotely related to religion? It's scientific. You are an object in our realm. You are going to emit an electromagnetic frequency. But the difference between a rock and you is that you are a living being, so you have different energy centers within your body that are affected by your emotions, so that would affect how your electromagnetic field interacts with the world.
Whereas a rock is probably just the same.
Yeah, where a rock probably has a very constant aura or electromagnetic fields.
So auras are just the electromagnetic frequencies that the particles that make you up emit, and auras are supposed to be the reflection outwardly of your chakras. So you have what the Western interweb says 7 main chakras. If you want to look at our chakra video, where I'm just gonna go somewhere on the screen, we think there's 8.
But the 8th one is transparent, so you wouldn't technically be able to see the color for it.
Well, the people in auras say that there's also a transparent aura that has to do with your crown chakra. So
wait, who does?
The interwebs.
Yeah, it's the moon chakra.
No, they're saying it's the crown chakra, not the Bindu chakra.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I'm upset about it. They're like, no, we're just gonna skip this one and go straight to what we want, because we can sell it. Yeah.
People are wild.
People are wild. So, if what the Western interweb says is consistent, and that's just what I'm going to tell you, the westernized version of the chakras and auras, you have 7 main chakras, and then you have 7 aura layers that correlate to your 7 main chakras. Now, when you break down the different layers of your auras, they are I don't know, insert bad Shrek reference here where Donkey's like, ogres are like birthday cakes.
Layers! Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it.
You know, not everybody likes onions. Cake! Everybody loves cakes. Cakes have layers.
I don't care what everyone likes.
Ogres are like onions. They got layers.
Yeah, your auras are like onions.
Wow.
So and those layers are broken up. So they're broken up into 3, 1, and then 3, because that's consistent with what the Western people want to think of, that there's 7 chakras. Okay, so the first 3 that make up the physical plane are the ones that are closest to your body. The first one is the etheric, or the lower aspect is what they call it, and it's about like an inch away from your physical body. And that is going to be related to your first chakra, or the Muladhara chakra. Now, the second one that makes up your physical plane is the emotional body, or the lower emotional aspect. These ones are supposed to be orange or yellow, and it's supposed to be consistent with your Svadhisthana chakra, which is your sacral chakra. Now, the third one that makes up your physical plane, which is about 3 to 4 inches away from your body, so 1 inch, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Your mental body is your lower mental aspect, and that aura ring is supposed to be consistent with your Manipura or navel chakra.
Got you.
Makes sense? And that's the one that's supposed to be yellow, which is interesting because I see yellow for here on you. Now we have the astral plane, which is made of the astral body, and this one is about 6 inches away. It is the median or middle part of your aura layers, and it has to do with your heart chakra.
The astral plane?
Yes.
Oh, that would make sense as well, because that is your... Okay, what people think the heart chakra is green, which green represents, like, human love, so your physicality, and you love, like, certain things within here, so it's more of a, like, conditional love, whereas we think the heart chakra is blue, and that would be more of an unconditional love, so that goes beyond, like, you have to physically be here in order for me to love you. That would be a condition, whereas love goes beyond that in an unconditional sense, where it just is.
Yeah.
So that would make sense that that is the wall between the physical and the spiritual, is that love barrier, and that's why love is 2 different colors.
But it bothers me that everyone's like, love chakra or heart chakra.
I have another question.
Makes me annoyed. Yes.
Is that what the ring around me is? So, one of the things that I have realized as a developing medium is that I have this light ring around me, and it is pink, white, and gold. And I have a spirit guide that resides on the outside edge of it. So it's about, I don't know, like 5-6 feet away from me. And one of the things that Liv has told me that she has gotten from speaking to my spirit guide is that this is kind of an indicator of how spirits speak to me. It's harder for me to hear things because they're so far away. They're outside of this ring. Whereas Liv's ring is very close to her. So that's why I have a hard time communicating with spirits, is because I have this ring that is so far away. But what she was getting is that the way I interact with physical people is more like I perceive them at a distance because I am afraid of being hurt. So that's how I do the same thing with spiritual beings. So I needed to like go through some sort of spiritual awakening to allow that to be closer, so that I have more of a trust within people in order to, you know, awaken my spiritual gifts. So my question is that ring the bridge between my physical plane and my spiritual plane?
They're telling me that it's your spiritual lane. It's your spiritual plane. Your spiritual plane is one and the same of your astral plane. This is the astral plane is what makes. Okay,
so the astral plane isn't the separation between my physical self and my spiritual self.
As a medium, you are the physical medium in which spiritual energy flows through.
Yeah.
The disconnect that you're having is between the physical body of being a medium and the spiritual aspect of allowing spiritual energy to flow through your physical one.
Well, yeah.
So separation is an illusion, but your astral plane is not the plane that I am seeing. I am seeing your spiritual plane. That's the ring around you, but it's so far removed from your astral plane that it's hard for the information to go through. Okay, so Em has her physical plane, which is usually gray, purple, yellow. Sometimes it's a little pink. It depends. This one changes a lot, but purple and yellow is usually pretty consistent for her. Now, your astral plane is green, gold, and yellow right now because you're dealing with a lot of physical love, healing love of others, but you need to use it to heal yourself so that you can love things outside of the physical things, and then yellow because you have anxiety around both of these things.
Interesting.
Now the spiritual plane, which is the one that's really far away from Freya, is pink, purple, white,
which
and gold.
Which is why it's always that color.
Yes. So where your disconnect is as a medium right now is because we are physical
'cause this
beings.
is the block.
No. Well, yes. This needs to be able to flow into this, to flow into that.
Got you.
That's how spiritual energy comes through you. But this one's really far away.
Yeah.
This one's broken and keeps things out. And this one is your normal state.
Okay, so this is the spiritual ring that you're seeing.
That you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's not able to flow through your astral plane.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because in order for you to get to your physical plane to have more information flow through you, you have to have this open. And it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
This is the bridge between your physical and your spiritual, and it's blocked.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's what they're showing me.
Yeah, and that
Whereas
would make sense of
mine-
what my spirit guide is telling us about it.
Is my astral plane and my physical plane are extremely close together.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm always like, yes.
Yes.
But yeah, this is what they're showing me. That's why you have your fuzziness right here, as they try to talk to you out here.
I see that too.
It's like, in science, there's something called a semi-permeable membrane, and it can be made up of different layers, and your aura is the semi-permeable membrane in which spiritual energy can flow through, because it's you and whatever else is inside of you.
Right.
But it's like a 3-layer membrane. Like, you know, in science class when they're little, and when you're little and they give you an egg and they like de-shell the egg and you put it in like maple syrup, and the maple syrup is supposed to go into the egg because the egg layer is a semi-permeable membrane.
Yeah.
So the yolk is your physical plane.
Yeah.
The membrane within the egg is your astral plane, and then your spiritual plane would be the maple syrup.
Got you.
So then you have your astral plane, and your astral plane is the boundary between your physical existence and your spiritual existence. And that's around your heart chakra. And it would make sense that it's located with your heart chakra, because your heart chakra is what separates you from physical love and universal love. Because if you're able to separate yourself from those two, then you're not going to be bound by physicality. You'll be able to step into the spiritual plane, or spirituality in essence.
Yeah, and it also makes sense of why people aren't just born mediums, because you have to figure out how to get that membrane to work with you.
Which is also why I'm perceptible to like dark things, because I hold everything close.
Mm-hmm.
And Agya's like, you cannot hold things close, but that's hard for you. And we're going to get into balancing your chakras, because that's what he's telling me about. He's like, you have it, but it's not balanced. And it's not that it's not balanced. It's just that that's who you are, and you need to learn how to use it.
Right. It makes sense.
Spiritual plane. Spiritual plane, consistent with the 7 chakras that Western people want to tell you, is there's going to be 3. So the first one is your etheric template, or your higher physical aspect, is going to be your throat chakra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's after the heart.
Which is blue. Then you have your celestial body, and that's also known as the emotional aspect, and that's going to be your 3rd eye chakra. And then you have your casual body, which I think is interesting because it's like the least casual of them all.
I know.
And it's called the mental aspect, and it is associated with your crown chakra.
Yeah.
Or in this one, probably your bindu and crown, because they like to smush them together.
And that's why it's the physical aspect, the emotional aspect, and the mental aspect, because it's the same thing for your spiritual body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of these are supposed to be consistent with the colors that are associated with those chakra.
Which is confusing, because I don't understand how people do aura readings if they like...
The colors are
if
always
the color's
supposed to be the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it would just be like looking at someone's rainbow every day. And like, I know people are like, well, if it's just like a little bit deeper red. How do you determine that?
Okay, so people say, and this is the thing that Em and I are like haphazardly debating, is if your aura rings are supposed to be consistent with your chakras, then they should all be the same color. But I heard someone say that the aura that's closest to your body is supposed to be gray, and then the next one's supposed to be yellow, and then, or purple, and then the next one's supposed to be yellow, and then it goes out from there, which isn't consistent with your auras, because everyone should have red, yellow, orange, blue, green, fucking rainbows out of their assholes.
It should follow the chakra system.
which doesn't make any sense. And then the next person that I listened to told me that when you perceive your auras, if you see that your color is green, but it's a light green, then maybe your heart chakra is unbalanced and that you need to listen to some high vibrational music so that it can raise the chakra. And then once you're done meditating, sitting in a sunny room and listening to high vibrational or high frequency music, look at your chakra again. And if it's not darker green, then you're doing something wrong. Ooh! In our first chakra video, we talked about how you can like unlock your chakras and balance them and how they're supposed to flow into each other like pools, kind of. Well, when I was doing the research for this aura video, if you guys haven't listened to our podcast, we have kind of like the spiritual guy who helps us, and his name is Agya, or at least the way that he talked to us, he told me that his name was Agya. And Agya means what in Sanskrit?
It's holy man, but I think it's another name for the third eye chakra.
Yeah. Which is crazy that that's what he told us that his name was, Agya, and he's like, I am the holy man. And he told me, I was just listening to this about this girl saying that if you see your chakra and it's like a muted color, then you need to balance it, or if it's too dark, then you need to tone it down, and that you need to balance your chakras doing this and that and meditating and music and ring bowls or whatever. And I was like, okay, but then my fiance is very much into like psychology and emotional intelligence and things like that. And he told me about, there was this monk, and this monk was put under a test with like scientific people, and they put him in like a very cold environment where he should have like been freezing to death. Yeah. And he was wearing normal clothes, not warm clothes for the cold environment he was placed in. And when the scientists put a heat reading thingy, what is it?
A heat reading
infrared
gun.
Sensor?
Yeah.
Infrared sensor on his body.
It's a thermal camera.
Yes. This monk was so in tune with his own body and his own chakras that he was able to keep a constant core and entire body temperature so that he
created his own heat.
He literally created his own heat without moving. He just sat there for like hours on end and did not freeze.
Right.
So when I was doing this research and I was listening to these people saying that they need to balance their chakras, which is something that we talked about in the chakra video, because that's what Western people tell you.
Yeah.
Agya came in and showed me this stuff, because if you don't know, as a psychic mediums, spirit will show you things that have happened in your past, present, or future, or the person that you're talking to's past, present, or future, to relay information and give you like thoughts. So listening to this podcast and then having Agya show me that from what Bradley was telling me, he's like, it's not that you have to balance your chakras, it's that you have to be so in control of your chakras, no matter what state that they're in, to be able to tailor them to certain needs in different environments, because nothing in this world is constant. Yeah, it's not supposed to be the same. It's not supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be a steady ebb and flow.
But it's not about unlocking your chakras or balancing your chakras. It's about understanding them, which is why like listening to music won't necessarily do that, because you need to understand the emotional aspect that goes into it.
I just thought it was interesting that he was like, it's not about balancing, it's not about consistency, it's about the ebb and flow and the understanding of the world, because that's how it is. Your chakras aren't about balancing and having everything consistent and aligned. It's just being able to understand who you are in relation to the situation that you're in, to use your chakras and manipulate them in the certain way that you need to get through that. Yeah. Which is crazy. Which is why sometimes like my Muldahar is giant, because I need that in order to survive. But sometimes it also is a little hindering. So I need to understand that about myself and rein it in and use my other chakras to overcome that.
Got you.
It's ebb and flow, not balance.
Right.
He's like, he just told me that you find balance in the ebb and flow.
Yes, it is balance.
But it's not the balance that people think.
It's not this.
Yes, it's this. God damn it!
Yeah, that's why we were like, it's not balance. I'm like, it is balance. Everything has to be balanced.
I love him. He's so cute. He's laughing at us.
So, if you guys liked this content,
make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell so that you get notified every time we post a more spoopy, funny, obnoxious shiznit, guys.
Also, if you can perceive auras,
let
us know what your aura is or what our auras are.
Yes.
It'd be really cool. But what's really exciting is On Halloween, we're going to be opening a Patreon so that we can give you that person to talk to.
Yes.
Also, we're going to be offering some exclusive services, which would be our aura services. That is going to be just open to our Patreon tiers. So if you would like an aura, you want to do aura and wing or aura separately?
I guess we could do separately.
Okay, so we're gonna have aura readings, we're gonna have wing readings, and we're gonna have spirit guide readings where we draw you a picture of what it looks like and then tell you kind of like psychically what that means to us. And those are very much only going to be offered to our Patreons. And that's gonna go out on Halloween!
It's gonna be
so
fun.
Excited.
Launching Patreon on Halloween. It's
Yes.
gonna be great.
It's
we're
very
gonna
on
have
brand.
Meta PsycKicks pen pals.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
So, if you guys are interested in our next content,
It's coming out next Wednesday. We have videos every Wednesday. We have podcasts. You guys want more information on auras?
Yeah, tell them what
We're
you're doing.
going to be talking about more aura stuff, like aura photography, how that works. We're going to talk about the Kirlian, Kirlian photography, and how that was debunked, but it was at UCLA. Well, it was debunked, but also not debunked.
We're gonna do a lot more Halloween content, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys in the next one.
We are your Meta PsycKicks. So they say if you stare hard enough in a mirror, you should just start to see like a little outline of color.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because there's a psychological
phenomena that
explains it. And it also explains other things like Bloody Mary instances, which we can get into in the podcast.